Grand rising, grand rising, grand rising. Good morning. Buenos dias. Gunta. All that good stuff. Good morning, good morning, good morning. We are in a new week, y'all. And we are almost out of February, too. Let that sink in. But you want to know something? I wanted to get on here really quick because our social media and our algorithm and our news are starting to change. And it's one of them things where, if you know me, you know I am a geek. I read a lot. I invest a lot of time in learning new things, learning about things, exposing myself to things that I probably will never encounter in real life, but just having the general knowledge that it exists is enough for me. And so one of the things that I've always learned was that when the news and the television was created, it was created with the sole purpose of delivering mass information faster than what we used to can get it. You know, newspapers, telegraphs, all of those type of things. It limited how much information we can get out to a group of people at one time. So when the news channels and CBS and all of these conglomerate channels that reports our news, when they were created with the sole purpose of delivering mass information to masses faster. Never effectively, never truthfully, and it was never supposed to be consistent. It was just a delivery tool. And with that being said, one of the things I've always knew about this delivery tool was it was always designed to create mass hysteria, mass confusion, mass confliction, because it was always someone else's narrative being told. And so I want to get on here, and I guess this video is for all those people who are making their platforms about educating us and telling us what is in those files. I want you to understand a couple components. One, I want you to be okay, because even as someone who is on the outside and who hasn't dug deep into those files, I know that it's a lot of stuff in there. I know that it is shocking. I know that it is appalling. I know that it is outrageous. Like, it, from what I've been seeing across different platforms, some of these content creators have dug so deep into these files that it has mentally caused a shift within them, like in real time. It has created different chemical imbalances. It has broken off different sensory bridges in the people who are diving deep into these files. And I want you to understand something. They're doing it for a couple different reasons. They're doing it because the curiosity in them about how this world works and functions was never fully satisfied when they were a kid. So now that we're adults and we have the ability to pull at certain fabrics of this society, why not? I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of these individuals are digging into these files, because their childhood curiosity was never satisfied. And that's understandable. But the other component to it is being an adult, knowing that there are certain things about how this society is designed and structured. If you never challenged yourself and asked yourself at any point in time as you were a growing adult, who designed these systems? These systems were never in place. Even when you go all the way back and you think about slavery, and you think, in order for somebody to become enslaved, meaning that somebody had to see a system that they had, they wanted it, and they wanted to take it for themselves. And so slavery is brought about. The use of humans for labor and food. And I mean, we're not going to even go that route, but to understand someone else's mindset is what led us here today. Someone else's mindset from a long time ago was very evil and warped and just conflicted in what they did. And I've always felt like this. The entertainment industry is literally just a space where all the broken-hearted, misguided people congregate. Because you have to understand, in order for you to even make it into the entertainment industry, you have to experience something so catastrophic in order for them to accept you. And this is something that I knew as a child. I knew as a child I would never want to go into that industry. That was something I never strived for, because what are you doing when you get there? You're not able to function as yourself. You're not able to speak. You are no longer you. You belong to them. And because now all of this is coming out, it's like I'm seeing across all these different platforms and content creators and things like, what are we supposed to do? Is everything about life really real? Or am I real? And I'm like, look, the whole purpose of this was to cause mass trauma on a scale so big that society can't rebound from it. Because you have to think, when 9/11 happened, that was an experience and that was trauma that the whole world, I'm talking about everybody, was drawn into that. Whether you had people who actually were affected by 9/11, or whether you knew someone who participated in 9/11, we were all affected. We all experienced the trauma behind 9/11. So fast forward 2025, we have a more egregious event that's happening, and it's affecting all of us. So this go around with the news and everything that's going on, it was to incite a huge level of trauma. Because if we're all hurting, if we're all confused, if we're all conflicted, we can't focus on what it is that we need to focus on. And the big thing that we need to be focusing on is we need to be creating something to protect our kids at all costs. But because we are over here trying to hold other adults accountable, and we're trying to figure out what the law means for us and now what our life means for us, we're all over the place. But I want to encourage you, stay focused. Do not be overly inundated by what you are hearing and what you are seeing, because this is going to be pretty much all of 2026. This is what 2026 is going to consist of. These files, these people, these entities, these things that we didn't know exist but did was because it was right in our face. The very fabric of what our society has been built on is shifting. And it's shifting because what you do in the dark always reveals itself to the light. There's no way they could have kept everyone silent. Someone was eventually going to speak. Something was eventually going to leak. Something was going to happen. And once that catalyst happened, here we are. But I want to get on here and I want to encourage the content creators who are making this content to educate, who are making this content just to be a part of the general conversation and discussion, to feel like they're at the table. Guard your mind. Do not allow all of this stuff and this information to seep into your brain, because once you open that portal, and we just talked about this in church, once you open that portal to your mind and you allow all of this information to seep in, you better understand that some of this stuff is going to definitely alter the very fabric of you, your DNA, your emotions, your response mechanisms, the way you comprehend the things you see. It's too many files. We're talking about millions and millions of papers. And if one person sits down and goes through all of these pages, you better know they're going to need some type of therapy. And if you're not already balancing between what you're seeing and what you're doing, and actually getting some type of therapy or some form of help after you're reading this stuff, let me be here to tell you, get some help. Good morning, my beautiful sister. You cannot sit here and immerse yourself in this information and not expect some type of chemical alteration to happen within you and within your brain, because we are not conditioned, one, to receive information like this, and two, we were not created to do the things that these people in these files have been doing. But because we have people who have mindsets that are very, very atrocious, you have things like this that are being created. You have things like this where they hide behind. You have things like this where they try to lie and protect it. You have things like this that are being funded, by our tax dollars, because at the end of the day, they never really expected us to care. And because we do, it's only a matter of time before everything is cleansed. Like, that's the only way I could think of it. Because at the end of the day, this world, this society has seen its share of social injustice wars, social economic wars, land wars, education wars, and just war and famine in itself. So, is it a repeat of history? More than likely. Is it going to result in outcomes that is going to be favorable for us? Probably not. But we have to prepare ourselves. We have to mentally and emotionally arm ourselves for what we are about to experience. Because it's going to be real. But I say all of this to say, protect our children. Keep our children safe at all costs. Make sure that you understand that this is about the kids. And without the kids, we have no future. So protect the kids, okay? Good morning. And make sure that you do your part. If you have a platform and you feel like you have followers and you feel like you have some key information that you can give to those that will help them be in a better place to process the things that they're hearing and seeing, then by all means do so. But if you're using your platform to incite more fear, spread misinformation, create false narratives just to get likes, followers, and money, we don't need that right now. We need consistent, reliable people that are uplifted and using their platform to truly educate and to truly make sure that we understand what is happening. Because not all of us are politicians. Not all of us understand what is actually happening around us, to us, and for us. So we need those people who are in those spaces that are educating us the right way. I say all that to say it's Monday. It's going to be a new set of news titles, a new set of headlines, a new set of information that's going to be thrown out at us. Be prepared. Arm yourself. Guard yourself. But at the same time, make sure that you invest in your mental health because it's so important. It's not a game. It's not a trend. It's not a headline. It is real life. And it is happening to the people that you love the most. So when I say tap in, tune in, tap in, tune in. It's okay to feel like you still got to go to your 9 to 5. And it's okay to think that your kids still need to go to school. And it's okay. But trust me, one thing I'm paying attention to is the midterms is coming up. And if you ain't registered to vote, you better get there right now. Because I promise you, they're changing the way we vote. They're changing the way voting looks. They're trying to silence our voices. And if the midterms don't go the way that we go, this will be the last election that we will have. And we will be stuck with the administration that we have. And I don't even get into politics. But what I'm trying to get into is lifestyle. A lifestyle. If you are satisfied and comfortable with your lifestyle, then you need to vote. You need to speak. You need to speak. I'm telling you. Because the midterms, before we get to the election, is ultimately what's going to decide and dictate exactly the direction that we're getting ready to go in. And they've been talking about it, but they've been masking it behind everything that's been going on in these courtrooms and everything that's been going on in these files. But the midterms are coming up and you need to vote. I'm telling you, please, for our babies, for our future, for anything. If you've never voted, I promise you, now is the time. And they've always sat here and told us, oh, you know, our voices don't matter. Oh, our votes don't matter. Oh, this, oh, this, oh, that. Come on, mommy, let's go this way. But I promise you, this go around, they are so afraid of us actually flexing and using our voice and our rights that they want to just do away with it. We can't allow it. Mommy, good morning. When are the midterms? Don't worry. I'm going to look them up because it's coming. It's coming real. It's coming. Like, they've been talking about it a lot and it's coming. So I will definitely look it up. And when I do my next live, I will definitely drop those dates. Because one of the things that they've been tampering with is the IDs. If you don't have the proper ID, if you don't have the proper proof, that you can vote, if you're not registered appropriately, they're basically saying like you can't vote at this point. So they're finding all of these different loopholes to try to keep people from voting. So vote, 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 and vote some more. You hear me? Because if people who are incarcerated, I mean, yeah, you're right, sir. Voting does only matter locally, but for the most part, because Florida, if you pay attention, Florida is one of those key places when it comes to voting. Every year is always the issue with how our votes and how our ballots and stuff come out. So when I talk about voting for Florida, I talk about it from an aspect of educate yourself and know what they're putting on the ballot, know what you're voting for, and then vote. Because Florida is one of those battleground states that if you win Florida, you pretty much take off. So as Floridians, we need to wake up. Because what we're voting for is ultimately setting the stage for a national level. Like, we have to tune in. Hey, friend. Good morning. We have to be prepared for whatever. You got to realize Mar-a-Lago is in Florida. A lot of the things that happened in those files went through Florida. So with that being said, if they can alter and change the way that Florida is structured and set up, why not? Why not? So I say all of this to say, I got my hand in a little bit of everything. But I try to make sure that when I'm getting on here and I'm speaking, that I'm coming from a place of authenticity, transparency, and I'm definitely big on education, because there are things that we just don't know. And the reason why we don't know is because we won't apply ourselves. We will not put ourselves in a space to educate ourselves. We will not make ourselves uncomfortable to learn something, to become comfortable with it. We would rather deal with the uncomfortability of not knowing and pretend like it doesn't affect us than to actually deal with it and educate ourselves and make it our business. I'm gonna say this and I'm gonna be done. One of the key things that I have learned about these is, if I can create a diversion to keep you looking over there while I'm stealing over here, you will never know that I just took from you. And the person that's watching me do this to you, because it's not happening to them, will never tell you what just happened to you. And we've lived in a society like that where we will not sit and tell somebody that we know that something is happening to them because it's not happening to us. We have to change our mindset and our mentality, because trust me, it may not be happening to you, but it will trickle down and it will affect you. Someone you love, someone you care about, someone you deeply wish didn't happen to. So mindset mastery is everything, because perception is what got us here. They perceived that we were going to be weak and uneducated and clueless. So they banked on that. They banked on our naivety. They banked on the fact that we were not born and bred into unity. They disrupted that. They dismantled it. They made us believe that there is no such thing as unity in our community. Well, thankfully, I'm an active leader in our community, and I do believe that there's unity. And I do believe that we can come together for a greater cause. And I do believe that we can put systems in place that will protect our children. I do believe that. And I will not stop until it happens. But in the meantime, in between time, I encourage my community, please educate yourself. Please stand up for something before everything that we thought we stood for falls down. And I think I've done enough preaching this morning. I'm going to get myself together. But that's my 2 cents, y'all. Protect our children. Make sure you understand who you are in this society. Make sure you know that you are a value asset of this community and of this society. And without you, it wouldn't go on. And that's something that they do not give us credit for. We are the reason why they're able to do what they do. Of course, Musette, you're supposed to love yourself like your neighbor. But of course, we look at our neighbors as the enemy because we've been groomed to believe that we're not supposed to extend a hand to help the next person, which is weird. And definitely vote. Our kids can't vote. The things that we're voting on is affecting them. So please vote. If you want any type of resolution or any type of understanding, I mean, to vote is to educate yourself. Simple as that. You won't know what they're trying to do, and you won't know what's on that ballot unless you go look at that ballot. They don't put the ballot on the internet for general purpose and say, oh, hey, just look. This is what the ballot looks like. In order for you to understand what is going on and to be educated on what is happening, you have to go and vote. That's the only way you're going to see that form. But that's my 2 cents, y'all. That is my 2 cents. I'm finna get up out of here. I hope y'all have a beautiful Monday. It's no school, so you ain't really got to worry about all this traffic. But I do want you to take the time today and educate yourself on something that you never thought you would educate yourself on. Expose yourself. Exposure and education is key. And those two alone will help us in the very finest hour of survival. Because a lot of the times people perish based on the fact of lack of education, lack of knowledge. That's it. Anything else in between that is pretty much choice, environmental situations, and being in places that we're not supposed to be in. But education, because if we're educated, we know there's certain things and places that we just don't go and don't do and don't say. But because we are afraid, we just don't do. But yes, I love you, sis. I love you, girl. I'm finna go to work. But I hope y'all have a beautiful day. Your first niece behind me, she's taking her time doing her thug thizzle. But yes, I had to get on here and get that up off me today. And I hope this message reaches someone. And if you know a content creator that's posting the stuff that I've been talking about, send them this link and let them know. We're praying for them. We want their mental to be safe, and we appreciate them for educating us. But please, don't get over inundated with the news, okay? This is my 2 cents, y'all. Stay healing. Peace.